Okay, let's go.
All right, let's be honest. Have you ever just stared at your screen, completely frustrated, wondering why you keep losing money? I mean, you do all the research, you watch the charts like a hawk, but you still end up in the red. It's maddening, right? Well, here's the thing. It's probably not because you're not smart. It's because you're making these invisible mistakes, the kind that just silently drain your account. Yeah, that question, why do I keep losing money even when I'm doing everything right? Sound familiar? It's that voice in the back of your head, the one that kills your confidence and whispers, maybe I'm just not cut out for this. You know what? We're here to shut that voice down. For good. So here's the brutal truth. You're probably falling into the exact same traps that catch 95% of other traders. And listen, these aren't just bad strategies we're talking about. These are deep-seated psychological errors that literally bleed your account dry. So today, we're not just going to talk about trading. No, we are building your blueprint for survival. All right, here's the roadmap. We're going to break down 5 of the biggest mistakes. The impulse kill, overtrading, which is a total productivity trap, being blind to risk, having no system and no future, and the ultimate battle, ego versus equity. This is how we go from chaos to control. Okay, first up, the impulse kill. Seriously, this is ground zero for so many trading disasters. Because here's a secret. The market doesn't really punish you for being ignorant. It punishes you for being emotional. And the hard truth, when you're in the heat of the moment, your emotions are lying. They are absolutely 100% lying to you. So what exactly is impulse trading? It's simple, really. It's when you jump into a trade because of an emotion, that feeling of FOMO or pure panic, instead of following a predefined plan. Your brain gets this little dopamine hit, kind of like pulling a slot machine lever. And that feeling, it is the #1 silent killer of trading careers, period. And here's the vicious cycle in action. It all starts when you see a fast move. Boom, FOMO kicks in. So you jump in totally without a plan. What happens next? A quick, painful loss. And then your brain screams for revenge. You jump into an even bigger, riskier revenge trade to make it all back. And 5 steps later, the account is blown. We're talking hours, not weeks. It's a disaster. Okay, so how do we kill this impulse? It's about building a firewall. First, you have to write down your trading plan before you even think about trading. Next, set hard, non-negotiable rules, like I stop trading for the day after 2 losses. And here's a big one. Use the 60-second rule. Before every single trade, pause for 1 full minute. Just 1 minute. And ask yourself, is this my plan or is this my emotion talking? Trust me, that 1 minute can save your entire account. All right, let's talk about mistake number 2 because it often comes right after impulse trading. It's overtrading, or what I like to call the productivity trap. It's this tricky illusion that makes you feel like being busy, clicking buttons, being in a trade, is the same as being productive. But let me be crystal clear, in trading, activity is not achievement. And this right here is the core difference in mindset. The amateur thinks more trades means more money. They feel this constant need to do something. The professional? They know that fewer, better trades are what make the money. They understand that waiting, just sitting on your hands, is a huge part of the job. They don't chase the market. They let the market come to them. You gotta love this analogy. Think about it. Don't be a hamster on a wheel, just spinning and spinning, feeling busy, but getting absolutely nowhere. Be a sniper who waits patiently, sometimes for hours, strikes once with precision, and walks away with a profit. That's the game. The market rewards snipers, not hamsters. So how do we stop the endless wheel spinning? Simple, but not easy. Discipline. Set a strict trade limit for the day. Maybe it's 2 trades, maybe it's 3. But once you hit it, you're done. No exceptions. Start tracking your mindset in a journal. Are you trading because of a good setup or just because you're bored? And this one's huge. Build a routine outside of trading. Get away from the screen. The goal here is to protect your capital, and that includes your mental capital. Okay, this brings us to a huge one. Mistake number 3, being completely blind to risk. And look, I get it. Risk management can feel like the most boring topic in all of trading, but it is, without a doubt, the most important. Because your first job as a trader is not to make money. Your first job is to protect the money you have. Now, I want you to really look at this number. 50%. Let's say your account takes a 50% hit. That hurts, right? But the real pain isn't just the loss. It's the math that comes after. Because to recover from that 50% loss, you now need a 100% gain just to break even. Let that sink in. A 100% gain to get back to zero. The math is brutal. And this is why professional traders are obsessed with defense and keeping losses small. So, what's the secret weapon? It's your risk to reward ratio. See, trading isn't about being right all the time. It's about making sure your wins are bigger than your losses. Look at this. If you risk, say, $100 to make $300, that's a 3-to-1 ratio. With a strategy like that, you can literally be wrong more often than you're right and still make money. And please remember the 1% rule. Never, ever risk more than 1% of your total account on any single trade. Think of it as your parachute. All right, let's hit number 4. No system, no future. It's as simple as that. Trading without a real system, it's like trying to sail across the ocean without a map or a compass. Sure, you might feel like you're making progress for a little while, but eventually, you're just going to be lost at sea. Because hope is not a trading strategy. And this is a trap so many people fall into. They confuse a setup with a system. A setup is just a pretty pattern you see on a chart. It's just one piece of the puzzle. A system, on the other hand, is the entire blueprint. It's a complete, repeatable process that tells you exactly when to enter, exactly when to exit, and exactly how to manage your risk. It takes the guesswork and the emotion out of the equation. And that leads to what I call the system hopper's journey. You've probably seen this or maybe even done it. You find what you think is the perfect new system. It works for a few trades, but then you hit a totally normal, expected losing streak. And what happens? You panic. You think, oh no, the system is broken. So you abandon it and go searching for the next shiny new thing. You're constantly starting over, never giving any single strategy the time it needs to actually work. To break that cycle, you have to make a huge mindset shift. You must think like a casino, not like a customer. Think about it. A customer at the casino is obsessed with winning the next hand. The casino? They couldn't care less about one single hand. They know that over thousands and thousands of hands, their statistical edge will guarantee they win. Your tested system? That is your casino edge. And that brings us to our final mistake. And honestly, this might be the biggest one of all. It's the ultimate battle, ego versus equity. This is the war that rages inside every single trader, the fight between your pride and your account balance. And how you handle this battle? Well, that's what decides your fate. Just look at this showdown. On one side, you have your ego. It needs to be right. It can't stand admitting a mistake. It wants to win this one trade at all costs. And on the other side, you have your equity, your money. Your equity doesn't care about being right. It just wants to survive and grow. And to do that, it needs you to cut losses quickly and just follow the damn plan. The legendary trader Paul Tudor Jones put it perfectly. The most important rule of trading is to play great defense, not great offense. That says it all, doesn't it? It's not about hitting home runs, it's about not striking out. Playing great defense means you know when to take a small loss, protect your capital, and live to fight another day. So how do you make sure your equity wins and your ego loses? First, you have to accept a hard truth. You are going to be wrong, a lot, and that's okay. You have to detach your self-worth from the outcome of any single trade. Treat your trading plan like it's a sacred contract you cannot break. And most importantly, you have to see a small loss for what it is. It's not a sign of weakness. Taking a small planned loss is a sign of strength. It's a sign of a professional. So I'll leave you with one final question. A question you need to ask yourself before every single trade from now on. When your mouse is hovering over that buy or sell button, just pause and ask, am I trading my plan or am I trading my ego? I promise you the answer will make all the difference in the world.